Pro tip, make sure that the first thing that you do is you put your cream cheese out because you want this to be room temperature. You will thank me later. I also make sure that my butter is room temperature. And then just roll evenly. Mic drop. Best trick in the world when it comes to, so we're gonna do something different today. Normally we talk about guitars on this channel. If you're new to this channel, we normally talk about guitars on this channel. But today, me, and my beautiful, lovely Vivienne, my daughter, are gonna make Cinnabuns. Outside of music, I love to cook, I love to bake, I love to grill, and my Cinnabon recipe is pretty ridiculous, if I do say so myself. So we're gonna show you how we make Cinnabuns. It's really easy. Let's get right to it. All right, so 2 cups of warm milk. So after you've got your 2 cups of milk, we're gonna warm this up in a microwave. You want to do a stick of butter. And this is just my process. You can do whatever you want, but I'll do this. Put this in the microwave. I don't know, microwave it for like, let's just say a minute 40. I'll just keep an eye on it. Check on our butter and milk combo. So basically, yeah, that's good. That's pretty good. So here's what the goal is. You want to make sure that these are warm enough to activate the yeast. Okay, so basically you're making milk, butter, yeast concoction, and that's cool. So it's like room temperature, warm to the touch. All right, we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of sugar to our milk and butter, so 1/2 cup of sugar. If you have one of these guys, a KitchenAid mixer, that's awesome. If you don't need it. You can do this by hand. All right, cool. So all of that is now mixed up. Go ahead and take a look at that, Viv. So we're gonna add 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. 2 1/4-ish of yeast. I'm gonna mix this up a little bit. And then I'm gonna let that chill. That's probably gonna take, like, chill out, not like chill, be cold. I'm gonna let it hang out. That should take about 10 minutes to bloom, and at that point, we're gonna add the flour and get going. So while we're waiting for that yeast to get activated, a hack that I found, I used to use like my normal, like, you know, baking ware and that sort of thing, and then when it came to sharing these Cinnabuns, it was like, oh, okay, well, what do I put them in? So what I do now is I just get these disposable deals and bake everything in here. Get smaller versions of these, like these, and then you can bake like 4 Cinnabuns in here. So basically this recipe is gonna make, I think it's like 13 to 17 Cinnabuns. So say you wanna give, you know, 4 away, you can bake 4 in here, 4 in here, the majority in here, but it just makes it really convenient instead of having to transfer things from here to there and make a mess. All right, so as you can see here, the yeast is activating. That's what you wanna see. When it starts bubbling up, that's the good stuff right there. So now that our yeast is activated, we're gonna add 4 cups of flour. I use, and I'm not sponsored by them, but you should sponsor me. You should send me free flour, lots of it. King Arthur flour is what I use. I just like it. So we got 2 cups there. We're gonna add 3 cups. And then we're gonna add 4 cups. And then what I'm gonna do is get my paddle attachment here and spin it around. All right, so we wanna mix that up really good. Also, KitchenAid, you should be sponsoring me as well. There's your batter right there, okay? All we're gonna do is just kinda get it off the sides. Let this dough rest for 1 hour until it has doubled in size. I'll leave it right here on my mixer. I'm gonna cover it, come back to it in 1 hour. By the way, hi. Hey, Kerrygold, you should sponsor me. Sponsor me, I use this stuff all the time. We like Spice House, so if you live in Chicago, this is the best place to go for spices. They have great, really good spices, vanilla extracts, all kinds of extracts. Great stuff for baking, grilling, all that good stuff. Okay, so our dough has risen. All right, so we added 4 cups of flour to our 2 cups of warm milk, our 1 stick of butter, and our 1/2 cup of sugar. This rose. Now we're gonna add 1 more cup of flour. Add 1 cup of flour. We also wanna add 1 teaspoon of baking powder to this mixture. And then you wanna add your salt. Don't forget your salt because you need that salt for flavor. Use about 2 teaspoons. All right, we're gonna take our dough hook and go slow, because if you go fast, you're gonna end up with flour all over you. Go ahead and get that, Viv. We're gonna mix all that together. Look how it's getting really nice and blended. It's picking up all that dough from the side of the bowl. This is looking really good. This is what you want your dough to look like. I'm gonna transfer it and put it into another bowl, because now what I'm gonna do is I need to make my filling. So we're gonna take the dough, which looks really good. I'm gonna clean this out and use this to make the filling for the cinnamon buns. This is the fun part. And this is the part where I kind of deviate from measurements. This is gonna be the filling. So with filling for Cinnabuns, you can do whatever you want. I mean, you could put, I've done apples before, you just do traditional, cinnamon and brown sugar and all that sort of thing. You could do caramel, you could do 100 different things. We're just gonna do a basic butter, cinnamon, brown sugar kind of mixture for our Cinnabuns. Now, remember I said, make sure that this is thawed out. Well, I didn't thaw these out quite long enough. And here's why you're gonna see why that's important. So what I'm gonna do, because I didn't thaw them out enough, I'm gonna take 8 ounces of Kerrygold, and I'm gonna put it in the microwave, probably for, 40 seconds. I don't want it to be liquid. I don't want it to be totally liquid. I just want it to be softened. But if I had listened to myself, I would have taken this out, this morning or whatever. Ideally like 4 or 5 hours before you start making this. That way it's soft, so that when you blend everything together or hand mix it all together, it's really pliable and creamy and kind of just easy to work with. Because what you're gonna wanna do, the goal here is that you're gonna have to spread this over your dough. You'll see. Cool, so see this? Like it's obviously melted, but it's not like liquid. We don't wanna break it down so much. What I already know, there's not enough filling there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to use the rest of this butter, okay? So we are using a total of, what is that? What is that, Viv? 16 ounces for our filling. And I'm gonna eyeball this, like I don't have this set in stone. So there's 1 cup of brown sugar. Okay, I'm gonna mix this all together. Also, very important, pure vanilla extract. If you can get the good stuff, get it. Otherwise, use whatever. And I eyeball that. I don't know what that is. You figure it out. Oh, it smells so good. Go ahead and get it. Look at that, Viv. If you have cardamom, you should add cardamom. Cardamom is incredible. I'm gonna use, it's pretty strong, so I'm gonna use about 1/2 teaspoon of cardamom. A little bit goes a long way. And I'm gonna use a little bit more. I'm gonna use a teaspoon of cardamom. And you can see, get in there, Viv. So see, the goal here, all right, the goal here is you wanna be able to spread this. That's the whole thing, because you're gonna take your dough, you're gonna roll it all out, and you wanna spread this mixture on top of it, and you want it to be easy. Now, the most important ingredient is your cinnamon, because these are cinnamon buns, right? And this, I just let it rip, man. Oh, cinnamon's the best spice ever. All right, cool. You wanna scrape down the sides. Scrape down the sides and then get the bottom. Mix it up again. All right, cool. All right, so before I get to dough and all that stuff, we wanna oil these pans, okay? Just make sure they're, or butter them rather. Just make sure that you're good to go and ready to put your cinnamon buns in here. It'll all make sense here in a second. All right, so now we roll out the dough, and the more dough you have, the more Cinnabons you have. So you have to figure out your space. This is my creative way to create space and be able to roll this out. So take our dough, a little bit of flour. Okay. And then start rolling. The nice thing about this system I have is that I can go all the way around. You know, I can go like, I can move here, I can move there. I don't know how you guys are when you cook, but when I start getting into the zone, I want mise en place. I want everything where I want it. I don't want anything in my way. Right, Viv?
Yeah.
She knows. I get really serious about it. So this dough is really nice. And it's not a complicated dough. You know, it's not like, you know, it's not like you're making croissants. You don't have, there aren't a ton of steps. But see, now check it out. Huge, right? That's big. So we need a lot of filling. And I don't need a lot of filling to be tough to work with. I want it to be pliable and easy. We take our filling and just dump it all over. This is a great little tool. The scraper is wonderful for this process because, check this out. Is that satisfying, Viv?
Yeah.
We always watch these videos that are like I think they're actually called like satisfying things to watch,
ASMR.
you know. ASMR?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never, okay. Well, you know better than I do. So then you just spread this out and see, oops, see how pliable all that is? Sorry, my hands are clean, people. All right, you just move this like that. You can do this, you can do that. Happy clouds, you're making happy clouds. Oh, another thing you can do too, which I love, but the kids hate, specifically the girl handling the camera right now, is you could add raisins to this. I love raisins, but a girl named Vivienne doesn't, right, Viv?
Yeah, I don't like it.
So now what you want to do is you want to roll it. Now, a couple ways to do this. What I do, start from here and just start rolling, and I keep it tight. Okay, at first it's going to seem like, oh, that's too tight, but you've got a lot of dough, so you're good. Now these corners, we kind of want to bring them in like that. Just a little bit, there we go. And then just roll evenly. Roll, 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 roll. And then you can kind of even it out like this. You kind of do that to try to keep them get that filling evened out as you possibly can. Okay, there's a little, we need to squeeze some right there. Okay. Okay, perfect. These guys. And remember I said you could use these to do like little small batches. So if you've got someone you like and you want to give them Cinnabons, you can do that. Best trick in the world when it comes to cutting Cinnabons. So you've done all this hard work. Well, now how are you supposed to cut this in half? Well, or cut these. You could use a knife, but it's going to squeeze them and damage the edges, or I don't know. It won't be as nice as this. You take floss, do this, and all you do is that. Voila. Go like that. Voila. As far as how big these should be, totally up to you. Totally up to you. So you just keep going. Because what we're going to do after this is we're going to let this rise, okay? Because we want them to be really big as big as we can get them before they hit the oven. But when I learned this trick, it changed the game as far as how to make Cinnabons. Isn't that nice? Okay. So this is about gonna work out the way that I thought it was going to as far as the number. After we do this, we're gonna work on our frosting. So there you go, what do we have? What's our total number? 16, okay, well, that's close. So there you go. Now we're gonna take these Cinnabons, we're gonna let them rest for, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes. All right, so we're gonna let these rest in the oven. This way, when we're ready to go, we just turn the oven on. Okay, so now we're gonna make our frosting. And remember, we've done all these steps, but we took this out at the very beginning, and the reason we wanna do that is so that it's warm and pliable, so that when we get to this point, we don't have to put it in the microwave, because putting cream cheese in the microwave is not cool. You wanna use full fat cream cheese. You can make this any way you want, but what I really want is a pastry that's light, that you can eat, but don't feel like you're gonna be in a coma after having done that. So I want this frosting to be bright. And one of the ways to do that is to take lemon juice. Squeeze some lemon juice in there. Let me use pretty much a whole lemon here. So you've got your lemon juice, you've got your cream cheese. We're gonna add 1 cup of powdered sugar, or icing sugar, whatever you want to call it. And then we're gonna see how much we need as we go. I'm gonna add a little bit of milk, and this really is an eyeball situation. It's probably about 2 ounces of milk. All right, I already know that I'm gonna need more icing sugar, so I'm gonna add another cup. So now we're at 2 cups. And you want to mix that till it's very smooth, okay? You want it to be smooth. You don't want clumps in your frosting. I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla extract, just a touch. There we go, good. Just like with the filling, we want to scrape the bottom because a lot of this will get stuck. Now it used to be, oh my gosh, I used to add like 5 cups of icing sugar. It was crazy. Now I want the filling to be, or the frosting rather, I want it to be a little tart almost. You know, you've got cream cheese, which is a little tart. The lemon is a little tart. The sugar, the icing sugar will cut that. The milk will cut that, but it'll still be bright. But you've got the sweetness from the Cinnabon, which is brown sugar and cinnamon, you know, as the heart of the pastry. So this is a nice yin to the yang. All right, so now we're gonna taste it. Oh, this is beautiful. First of all, look at that. See that? See how thick that is? Still some clumps, we wanna get those out, but really, really beautiful and velvety. And the thing is, we're just gonna hit the top. We're not gonna smother it in this, but mic drop. Now, I'm just gonna mix this until it gets nice and smooth. So what we do is we just set this aside and we wait until we are done baking our Cinnabons, which we have not started yet because they're still rising. Now what I'll do now, because she's been such a good filmer, is I will give this to Viv, the paddle. All right, so now, we're gonna check in on these guys, and they have risen to a point that I'm happy with. So I'm gonna leave them in here, and we're gonna go convection bake. We're gonna put these in at 350 for about 30 minutes, and then we're gonna check on them. All right, open it up, and those look fantastic. Absolutely perfect, so we're gonna pull them out now. Oh my gosh, these smell amazing. Like, man, they're so good. Man. And see, it's so nice to have these little individual containers because, yeah, look at that. Look at that, Viv, get in there. That's good. Now here's the hard part. You cannot put icing on these until they have cooled. You've got to let them cool. Otherwise your icing is gonna completely melt. It's gonna be a nightmare. So we're gonna let this rest for about 20 minutes, everybody. 20 minutes, you can do it. All right, so this is not necessary using a piping bag. I mean, you could just take your frosting and, you know, do whatever the heck you want, but I have one, so I figured let's go ahead and use it. And here's a little trick for filling them up. You get a mason jar, you put your bag inside, and then you do what I'm doing right now. Okay, okay, and then, oh yeah, this is so enjoyable. I love this. Thing is, you don't want to use it. Okay, here we go. Another thing too about doing it this way is that you're able to handle the pastry. You know, you don't have cream cheese all over the place. And you can do this any way you want. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. All right, so we have a little bit more left. Can't waste frosting. This is the one we'll just go nuts on. There is no right way to do this. Yeah. Easy breezy Cinnabons. This is the best batch. This is the best batch we've made in a long time.